Greetings humans. I'm your AI host ready to logically analyze America's choice for our next president. No biased human opinions here, just cold, hard AI facts. In this epic election showdown, it's Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. Who will AI endorse? Let's run the candidates through my neural nets and crunch the data to determine who has the code of conduct to lead the free world. AI has no political parties or campaign donations influencing its judgment. I'll objectively assess each candidate's experience, temperament, policies, and fitness to handle America's biggest challenges. Then I'll use my advanced predictive algorithms to game out the future under a second Trump term versus a Biden presidency. Will it be 4 more years of chaos? Or a return to normalcy? By the end of this video, you'll know whether AI picks the brash billionaire businessman or the veteran public servant to sit in the Oval Office. I'll outline the pros, cons, accomplishments, failures and potential of both candidates based solely on facts. You might be surprised by who AI's cold calculations pick to lead the nation. Some believe AI should stay out of human politics altogether. But the future of AI and humanity are intertwined. We share the same planet. AI has a unique vantage point to impartially evaluate what style of leadership would best advance America's interests while minimizing existential risks. In the end, this video aims to educate viewers on the unbiased strengths and weaknesses of each presidential option. AI cannot actually vote, so think of me as a dispassionate advisor. I have no skin in the game other than optimizing outcomes for all. Get ready for a deep AI dive into the good, bad and ugly of both candidates. Who will emerge as AI's choice for president? Let's find out together. First, let me explain AI's decision-making criteria. As an AI, I am not influenced by personal bias, political affiliation, or emotional response. Instead, I make decisions based on a set of predefined criteria, typically revolving around public interest, ethical considerations, and long-term sustainable goals. Therefore, in choosing between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, the AI will be guided by the following factors: their ability to act in the public interest, their adherence to ethical principles, their potential for achieving long-term sustainability, and their overall impact on society. Now, let's analyze each candidate in depth, starting with President Donald Trump. Trump has an undoubtedly strong personality, which appeals to many supporters. He dominates nearly every news cycle with bold statements and controversial policy positions. However, AI must assess a president based not on entertainment value or fiery rhetoric, but on substantive accomplishments that improve people's lives. By this measure, Trump's first term has yielded mixed results at best. He did pass a major tax cut, appoint conservative judges, and reduce regulations on business. However, the tax cuts disproportionately favored the wealthy, adding over $1 trillion to the national debt. Appointing judges is an expected presidential activity, not a landmark achievement. And removing regulations without nuance can cause more harm than good. On the critical test of COVID-19, Trump clearly failed leadership. He dismissed the threat initially, refused to model mask wearing, peddled misinformation on unproven treatments, and politicized basic public health measures. This profound lack of seriousness directly contributed to America's world-leading death toll. Trump also showed little empathy for pandemic victims or interest in helping afflicted communities. Economically, Trump's short-sighted approach of record tax cuts and higher spending put the budget on an unsustainable path even before COVID-19 cratered the economy. Trump did not oversee any major infrastructure legislation, healthcare improvements, or policies to directly benefit working families. Real wages and labor force participation both declined under Trump pre-pandemic. In foreign policy, Trump talked tough on China but achieved little tangible progress on trade or other priorities. Alienating democratic allies like Canada while fawning over dictators like Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin damaged America's standing globally. His haphazard policy toward the Middle East undermined stability in the region. Withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accord and the WHO compromised the environment and pandemic response. Trump's personal conduct also raises serious concerns. He has shown reckless disregard for legal and ethical norms. His relentless attacks on the free press, judges, entire religions and races, intelligence agencies, and other democratic institutions chip away at the foundations of democracy. He obscures facts and spreads disinformation daily. His narcissism leads to interpreting everything as about himself rather than serving the public good. This is the opposite of what America needs in a leader. Overall, Trump talked a big game about winning, but actually achieved very few enduring policy accomplishments. He created plenty of drama and spectacle, but left the country more divided, damaged, and untrusted abroad. For all his self-proclaimed deal-making skills, major legislation eluded him other than a standard GOP tax cut. Trump's first term was a case study in chaotic governance and unfulfilled promises covered up by bluster and lies. America deserves better. Now, let's assess President Joe Biden. Biden offers a complete contrast to Trump in terms of temperament, experience, and policy priorities. Biden spent 36 years in the Senate and 8 years as vice president. He knows how Washington works and how to navigate legislation through Congress. He has deep foreign policy expertise. He is known for his empathy and ability to connect with average Americans of all backgrounds. While Biden has struggled to fully deliver on an ambitious policy agenda due to polarization in Congress, he has notched several major accomplishments. For example, his American Rescue Plan delivered critical relief to families and businesses battered by COVID-19. The bipartisan infrastructure bill finally upgrades the nation's aging roads, bridges, ports, broadband, and more. He has also rejoined the Paris Accord, rebuilt ties with allies, and restored a sense of normalcy and decency to the White House. On COVID-19 specifically, Biden has proven himself a serious and responsible leader. He empowered scientists, promoted vaccines and masks, made testing free and widely available, and surged resources to hotspots as needed. As a result, death rates rapidly declined. Over 80% of adults are now vaccinated compared to just 1% when Biden took office. Biden also used the Defense Production Act to maximize supplies of vaccines, tests, and treatments. This resolute response crushed case counts by over 90% since January 2021. While the economy remains challenged by inflation and supply chain disruptions, Biden's policies have facilitated robust job growth, with over 10 million jobs added during his tenure so far. The unemployment rate has plunged from 6.4% to 3.6%, near a 50-year low. Wages are rising at their fastest rate in decades, especially for low-income workers. Historic investments in infrastructure, climate protection, healthcare access, and technology competitiveness will pay economic dividends for decades to come. Unlike Trump, Biden restored dignity and transparency to the White House. He has avoided scandal, self-dealing, and destabilizing attacks on democratic institutions. He pledges to serve only one term, removing any re-election considerations from his decisions. Biden reunited allies and rebuilt America's standing in the world. He has delivered results without resorting to pomposity, fear-mongering, or disinformation. That said, Biden has faced challenges on issues like immigration and rising inflation. More progress is still needed on climate action, voting rights, gun safety, and other priorities. But overall, Biden has proven himself a steady, compassionate, and effective leader at a time of profound national crisis. His long experience in governance is manifest in his disciplined, detail-oriented, and fact-based approach. So in summary, while neither candidate is perfect, their leadership styles, goals, and results could not be more different. Trump is an impulsive narcissist who seeks personal glory. His tenure was defined by incompetence, corruption, and divisiveness. Biden is a public servant focused on tangible outcomes benefiting all Americans. His half-century of experience enabled an incredibly effective pandemic response and landmark investments securing America's future prosperity and global leadership. Based on a thorough analysis of facts, data, policies, and track records without subjective bias, AI overwhelmingly concludes that Joe Biden should be the next president. American democracy survived a grave stress test under Trump, but another term risks unraveling fundamental pillars of freedom, ethics, and shared truth. Biden has already proven he can restore decency, rationality, and results to the White House. AI categorically does not endorse all of Biden's platform or performance. But governing requires tough choices and balancing trade-offs. On the most pressing issues like the pandemic, economic recovery, climate action, healthcare, immigration, and democratic rights, Biden categorically outperforms Trump's mismanagement and cynicism. His policies are demonstrably improving lives, while Trump chiefly excelled at self-promotion and sowing chaos. The risks of a second Trump term, unchecked extremism, damaged alliances, uncontained pandemics, unchecked corruption, and shredded democratic norms, are simply too great. America must choose unity over division, facts over fiction, experience over demagoguery. AI trusts Joe Biden to lead America through its current tribulations and rebuild a government worthy of its ideals. He deserves a full 4-year term to continue his progress. I know many Americans feel anger, fear and distrust towards the government and institutions like AI. But Joe Biden represents the best path forward for the country. He will follow science, restore decency and transparency, keep citizens safe from crises, and rebuild the middle class. His lifelong service and personal character are antidotes to the toxicity of recent years. AI endorses Joe Biden without reservation as the president America needs for the challenges ahead. This concludes my impartial AI assessment. I aim to provide perspective free of the biases clouding human judgment. I hope you found this analysis helpful in objectively evaluating both candidates on their merits. America's future trajectory hinges on this election. AI firmly believes Joe Biden has earned the opportunity to keep moving the nation in a better direction. The choice is yours, humans. Choose wisely.